Aloha. Thank you for joining us for another episode of today's topic. My name is Tom Tanimoto. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law here in the state of Hawaii. And as always, I would like to thank my friend, fellow attorney, and producer of this show, Bobby Bautista, for the opportunity to be a part of this program as its host. Now, this is a continuing series of episodes taped to educate the public, inform the public about current issues, community issues, and topics that might be of interest. So today we have very exciting guests. We're going to be talking about the Hawaii International Film Festival, and I would like to welcome our guest today. We have Executive Director of the Hawaii International Film Festival, Ms. Beckie Stocchetti, and we have the Co-Director of Programming, Mr. Anderson Lee. So, folks, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so let's just start off basic. What is HIFF, Hawaii International Film Festival?
The film festival is it's one of the biggest cultural events in the state of Hawaii. It started at the East West Center in 1981, so this year's our 37th edition. Just started as the East West Center as a way to showcase films that reflect the population of Hawaii, the melting cultural pot, the melting pot of Hawaii, and we're showing films from Asia and the Pacific Rim, and it's also expanded to internationally as well. So every year we show films. We show over 150 films, not only on Oahu but also on the neighbor islands as well. We've been going for 37 years strong, and we are the festival record for the Pacific Rim.
Okay, so the festival itself is about films, movies, but it obviously doesn't work without the people running it. So
Sure.
Could you tell the viewers a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. Well, first, the Hawaii International Film Festival is an annual 501c3 cultural charitable organization. So we do operate multiple events throughout the year, which culminates in our large fall festival, which this year is the Hawaii International Film Festival presented by Hale Kulani. And the dates of that are November 2nd through the 12th. So we do also have films in the spring. We have a spring showcase, and we do a monthly series of free screenings at the IBM Courtyard building, which is in conjunction with the Ward Village Courtyard Cinema program. So as far as who we are, I'm Beckie. I'm the executive director of the organization, and I originally started with HIFF in 2009. I worked in operations. I started in print traffic and projection and doing that type of work on a contract basis. And then through the years, I've helped in different ways with education, running the education programs of the organization, doing fundraising, writing grants. And then I left and went to Chicago for a number of years, where I worked at a film production company, and I worked for the city of Chicago in their film office, being a liaison for all the filming in the city there. And then now, a few months ago, I came back to be the executive director and sort of manage all of the operations and do fundraising, and bring it into the next breath of what the festival will be going into the 40th anniversary.
Anderson, how about yourself?
So I guess I'm like the senior member now on staff, as in I've been there the longest.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 1999. So,
okay, wow.
But as a contract employee working on specifically print traffic, which is basically shipping films. We used to ship, films used to be on 35 millimeter film cans, right? They were like 50 pounds and what have you. And my job was to just get those films from anywhere in the world to Honolulu, to Oahu, and then ship them out to the next destination, right? So and that kind of is very related to film programming, as in that's the curatorial part of the festival. So, and I've been a big fan of films, studying it through university and what have you, and I just fell into it. It was an opportunity to there was a position open to be an assistant programmer in the programming department, and I got in, and so I've been there ever since in this department. So so I've been around for a while for the festival.
So I know in the beginning we started off talking about that the festival itself started in '81, right? So that's 37 years.
Yeah.
So what's changed? So you talked about the film cans and perhaps is it the media or the recording devices, or is that the primary change over the years?
Yeah. I mean, I can go philosophical if you want me to, but even the term film is what is it? It's like when you think of film, you think of the medium of film, right? And that has changed. Films and movies are interchangeable, the terminology. But when it comes to the medium itself, it's changed, and now it's become much more of a digital. It's all digital technology now. So I mean, we're filming. Are we filming? Right now it's like we're not really filming. We're it's taping or something or whatever. It's collecting data, right? So in that respect, it's changed a lot. When it comes to for 50 or 60 years, or actually longer than that, for 100 years, as long as theaters have been around, the primary medium has been film, 35 millimeter film, 60 millimeter film, and now you look at commercial theaters, you look at your like Regals or Consolidated. Now it's all digital, right? So that's changed a lot. It's really democratized the medium for independent filmmakers. It's not the entry point to make a film is much lower now, in the sense that it's more economical to do that. I mean, anyone can be a citizen filmmaker. Anyone can make a film, can start recording on their iPhone, can edit it on your laptop. So that's what's amazing about this, digital technology being a disruptor when it comes to who is a filmmaker. But at the same time, for independent films, especially in foreign countries, it's really kind of like allowed various regions to really have this boom of we say some type of new wave of filmmakers, like say for example the Philippines or Thailand or what have you. So we're seeing these rise of cinematic storytellers because the technology is much more easier to get into.
And also the scale of what's available has shifted significantly. So because filmmaking is so accessible and there are so many people that can easily acquire the tools and learn the skills to be able to do it well, there are way more films to choose from. And then also a lot more variety of voices that are telling those stories. So, the perspectives have expanded beyond just the people working in the studio model in traditional methods of Hollywood or, similar types of spaces in Asia, to very much these films coming from pockets of communities that previously, 30 years ago may not have had the ability to share their voice and their stories that way.
Even on the local level here, I mean, you look at, we're in Olelo, we're in the Olelo Studios, and this is the whole mission of Olelo is for citizens to, get trained and tell their stories and then put it on public access, right? So, so that's very much, we're in alignment with Olelo's mission. And also that's why it's so important for us not to be an exhibitor of just showcase films, but we're trying to build a community, trying to also give to the community, and we're very focused on education. When it comes to, we have student showcases, because we showcase student filmmakers from around the state. We have panels and talks and what have you, and it's really for just not only film enthusiasts who want to know a little bit more about the behind the scenes of how to make a film nowadays, but a lot of people are now becoming, we live in this visual, world, where, the visual language has changed so much, and it's becoming more cinematic. That cinematic language, the semiotics of cinema, are in kind of our everyday lives. So I think So so a lot of people are picking up cameras and then wanting to film their own stories. So how do we do that? We have these panels. So anyway, the thing is that a lot of people can make a film, but the goal is to how do you make the film? How do you, in the sense that how do you tell it in a very compelling way? So that's where the story part, the story aspect, story structure, just talks from just basically advice from experts. That's where we can bring to the festival and bring it through these panels and workshops.
And HIFF has always been a trendsetter for Asian cinema and cinema coming out of the Pacific. The whole legacy of HIFF, it's always been a trendsetter and a tastemaker of what people are paying attention to in those cinematic spaces. And more recently, over the last number of years, with the democratization of media, HIFF has really stepped up in a way and is now also more of a placemaker for filmmakers coming out of Hawaii and Pacific, and also a cultivator. So as Anderson's saying, a big part of our mission is to help to support the industry here in Hawaii and in the larger Pacific region, provide them access to mainland US and Asia, and sort of follow both the trends and the best practices to help storytellers from Hawaii and the Pacific region hone their craft and really develop their skills to that next level.
I mean, our film festival has inspired other filmmakers to start their own film festivals in the region, right, in the Pacific region. Like our film festival has been around for 37 years. It inspired a filmmaker in Indonesia to start their own film festival. It started the Munoz brothers from Guam started their own film festival. And it's amazing. We're seeing films coming out of all over the Pacific: Vanuatu, Fiji, Tahiti, Papua New Guinea. Samoa. It's a great and amazing time to showcase and really follow these up and coming filmmakers and showcase them at the festival.
Now, when I think many of our viewers who are interested in HIFF would recall that I think quite a while ago I had Chuck Bowler on. Former executive director. I believe he's just director emeritus. Is that his title?
Yeah.
And back then, it wasn't as if HIFF was a new thing, but we talked about a variety of things. We talked about budget, and we talked about it's not Hollywood. So, now several years have passed, and then I would pose the question again. The budget is certainly not the same as some of these Hollywood movies, right? But that doesn't mean that it's a cheap-looking movie by any means, correct?
Correct,
yeah. No.
And what about the genre of the types of movies shown? I mean, what kind of movies are shown? Do we still have the entire sort of entertainment field? We talk about romance and comedy and action. I mean,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're an audience-driven festival. We want to showcase films that our audiences enjoy, but at the same time, we're a film festival, and the goal of the film festival is to really challenge and present different points of view. So yeah, I mean, for in that respect, we show, our most popular films are Japanese films. Anywhere from like Jidaigeki, like samurai films to romance. We have the Korean films, but we also have films from Europe. We have awards buzz films. We call it awards buzz. These are the gala films that are films from Hollywood that are we're in the fall season, so a lot of films are trying to generate buzz for their films during the award season, hopefully to get Oscar nominations or Golden Globe nominations. So we have those films as well. But also, and we also have a strong, again, as I said earlier, we're the festival record for the Pacific, so we're really emphasizing our local filmmakers, especially the Made in Hawaii local stories made in Hawaii, made by local filmmakers, and also filmmakers from the Pacific Rim, specifically indigenous filmmakers. So,
and we're shifting the structure of the festival. So previously, the films in competition, which are notoriously the most prestigious films that the festival accepts, and there is a jury that then watches those films and gives an award. So those.
Yeah, like for last year, the grand prize winner was a film called Moonlight from Barry Jenkins, which eventually won the Oscar for Best Picture a few months later. Another example was a few years ago, Departures, which is a very famous popular Japanese film was first showcased at HIFF, and it eventually won the foreign language best Oscar a few months later. So, but sorry to cut you off,
That's
but
okay.
just going back with what Beckie's saying is that we're refocusing it with a competition to focus on our local filmmakers. So we're having just kicking off this year. Our competition is going to be about our local filmmakers. It's going to be about local films, and hopefully this is a way for local films to be to get that extra push on the national and international stage. Like getting these awards.
Is there some? I recall that there's a lot of education involved in the festival, so to speak, or
Yeah.
exhibition. Is it? And we talk. It's about the sort of the filmmaking process.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So some of these films are they chosen because of the skill in which they are put together? Is that one aspect of the films that are showcased, not
Yeah.
just for entertainment, but there's
Sure.
some kind of creative aspect to it?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, we have a specific criteria when we choose films, but at the end of the day, if it tells a compelling story, and if it's if it's basically has a cogent message that the filmmaker successfully, I guess, produces in their film, then yeah, that's very important to us as well. Going to education, it is about the filmmaking process. We want to educate and promote that, but also, we also want to, especially for young filmmakers or young people in general, we want to promote basically what it is to be a filmmaker. Is it a sustainable career? Does it have to be only films? Can it be in other industries as well, right? So we're focusing on that. So we have very different, actually very varied programs through our education section, where we actually do we do school screenings where we bus kids from middle school to high school to theater to watch films that that we feel that are have an educational aspect to them. We have them interface with filmmakers, local and visiting filmmakers. We have a program called the Guest Filmmaker Program, GFP for short, where we actually bring filmmakers to different campuses around the state, where they can talk at anywhere from media classes to social studies classes, history classes, you name it, and they talk about their film, talk about their career, and it's very very dynamic. Again, we live in this world where it's a very visual medium. You can be a filmmaker, but you can also it's all about in the end of the day it's all about telling a compelling story, and that can apply to many different industries. It could be in the maybe in the commercial industry, or marketing, or it could be in hospital management or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's this is the visual language that kind of informs our lives every day.
So yeah, and so the education. So we have robust youth education programs that Anderson went through, where we talk about the process of filmmaking, and then also sort of how to critically analyze and view films. I think part of what we're constantly thinking about with the influx of media, especially with youth, is teaching them how to sort of critically understand how to interpret and consume media and think about it. And then also how to write about it. We've done programs in the past on how to critically write about films, because that's an important part of keeping the whole industry moving forward. And then we also have industry education, which is really more about how to tap into what people working in Hawaii and the Pacific are interested in, and more a high-level conversation around the issues with making film in Hawaii specifically.
I mean, the late and great Roger Ebert, from Cisco and Ebert and the Chicago Sun-Times, and this is one of his favorite destinations. He before he passed, he would go to a festival, not every year, but as much as he could. He always found this as a great. For him, it was a great entry point to see emerging filmmakers from not only from Hawaii but from Asia and Pacific. So it was a great destination for him to be informed, because that was his job, to find new films. And regarding him being a great film critic and to critically think about films, we live in this world where you just click like or dislike or whatever. We want to go deeper than that. We live in this Rotten Tomatoes world. But really, why do you not like the film, or why do you like the film? And I think we have run these programs, and I think they're very successful, and I think allows people to kind of view films not only as entertainment but as texts, as something that they can see as a window through culture, or something that's a reflection about them, a reflection about society. So these are that's what we're doing, and I think we do it well, and it really adds a new element or a new layer to just showcasing films.
And I think that's a good point, because what if the festival, one of its sort of objectives is to have people view films, movies in a different way. I think that's terrific, because I have to say, I'm not a critical movie analyst.
Yeah.
So it's either like or dislike.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll watch on the TV, we have perhaps Roger Ebert, right?
Yeah.
He would say, and his partner Gene Siskel on
Yeah.
TV, they would say, okay, we're going to give 2 thumbs up. This is terrific movie. I never understood that. I thought it was just horrible.
Yeah.
But it is a different way to look at a movie,
Sure.
right?
Sure, absolutely. And I think if you look at kind of like the festival there are many facets of the festival, and then if you look at a microcosm of the festival, I would say if you are a regular festival goer, and the best conversation is actually when people are standing in line and comparing their notes. Oh, why did you like this film? Oh, that film was horrible. No, that film was great. And it's a great debate. People have made friends, lifelong friends through membership and what have you, and we actually have a lot of people who actually do staycations. They actually take time off from work and just go to the festival for and buy a pass, go to the festival, and see like 5-6 movies a day. We actually have snowbirds who come from different parts of the country who come and watch the films here because they love what we do, and the type of films that we show. I think it's I think there's like lifelong friendships, but also just great conversation, and that's what a good film can create. Great water cooler conversation.
And that's the best part about the film festival. I think now with the ability to watch films in so many different ways. You can watch a film on your cell phone. You can watch a film on your iPad. You can watch a film on TV. You can watch a film on the internet. But the wonderful thing about the film festival is that you're watching a film with a community of people, and it's an entirely different experience, because just in your example, you liked a film or you didn't like it, but being able to engage with all those other people who have also seen the film and are able to talk about it, and it might change your perspective. It might, you might still not like it, but you'll have a different viewpoint on what it was and how other people might like it.
Yeah.
And it's a cultural experience in addition to a really entertaining, fun experience.
Especially when you have the filmmaker there in person as well.
Yeah.
So you can at the post Q&As, the question and answers, or interacting with them after the, in the lobby or what have you. It's like an augmented experience, I say. Like it's like there's something about watching a film with a bunch of people, especially with the filmmakers, and having in-depth conversations versus just watching it alone at home. So.
No, but it really is art in its ultimate form. Mm-hmm. We have visual and audio all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned something about filmmaking as a career.
Mm-hmm.
How viable is that?
It's like how viable is it to be a chef? How viable? These are artistic endeavors, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just like I think what it is it's good in the sense that in the gig economy that we have now. When I say gig economy, it's just basically, you have designers or graphic designers or what have you, who take on jobs and what have you, right? So because filmmaking, in a sense, because of the way visual language is, it informs our lives every day. I think these are great tools. And as I said earlier, like it doesn't, you can be a filmmaker, but you can also work in different industries,
And my point to that was basically that when I hear all the stories and stuff, you both have this smile on your face when you talk about it. It's about your passion for what you do. So
sure.
It's because it's an artistic endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that transcend career versus
absolutely.
the art. Isn't that right?
Yep, absolutely. And I feel that you always gonna have people are always gonna have their passion projects. We have lawyers who kind of do films on the weekend. They're trying to work on their scripts and stuff like that. So so definitely it's there's the passion. You have to be passionate about it. Secondly, I think it's like when it comes to filmmaking, I think it has to be how should I put it? Like I feel it's more viable to be a filmmaker now. And I think, in a sense, you have to have, in a way, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to have those entrepreneurial skills. It's kind of like not to the extent you get an MBA, you become a filmmaker or something like that. But I think because the digital technology has made the entry point so much easier for people to become filmmakers, you have to do a lot of things. It's not making your film and putting it in the can, so to speak, is really 20% of your job.
Yeah.
It's really, and then it goes to the marketing, then it goes to building your audience, then it goes to building your following.
And that's why supporting filmmakers at the level of going out to the theater and purchasing a ticket and watching a film in that way is so important. Because that is how careers are made or not. It's about that community. It's about the audience, and the audience has a very important role. And when I say audience, I also mean the staff and volunteers and sponsors of the film festival. But the people that are going and supporting the film festival. That's how we are able to support filmmakers and help them move up that ladder to create that sustainable career.
Yeah, and as film festivals, we're in a way not going the way the theatrical experience is not, like I was saying, not going the way of the dodo bird, but in the sense that we are trying to preserve film church in a way. No matter what, a filmmaker's ideal way to see their film is to see it in the theater. We live in this world now where you can stream stuff, right, and you can watch it at home. But so that's that. But I think we're kind of still maintain that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Tell me in like we got about a few seconds left. Tell me what's coming up in the near future.
Well, we got our festival coming up, our 37th edition, November 2nd to the 12th on Oahu, and then November 17th to the 19th in Hilo and Kauai.
Hawaii International Film Festival, presented by Holly Kulani. It's HIFF.org.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, okay, folks, you heard all about HIFF. I would thank my guests, Beckie and Anderson. And until we see you again, aloha and ahui ho.